Good afternoon, students and staff, and also those joining us in a delayed recording version from home. Welcome to our very unique assembly this afternoon. My name is Callum from Canary House, and it's nice to be with you virtually via Skype today. We are also welcoming CJ, who is filling in today. Before we start, I would like to encourage everyone to take a big breath together.
Hi, I'm CJ from Coral Wingate House, and thank you for all coming online this afternoon. Our thoughts for all those staff, students, including the other student leaders who are not with us at school at the moment. I would like to ask Katie from Year 4 to perform an acknowledgement to country.
I would like to acknowledge that this school assembly is being held on the traditional lands of the Butchulla people and pay my respect to elders past, present, and emerging. Thank you.
Thank you, CJ, and well done, Katie. My name is Indy. If you are able, please be abstaining for the national anthem. A reminder that at the conclusion of the singing of the national anthem, please do not be seated until you are invited to.
Please be seated. Please welcome our dedicated principal, Mr. Hillhouse.
Rightio, well thank you Callum and thank you to our school leaders, and welcome boys and girls to another one of our weekly assemblies. Whether you're learning at school or learning at home, it's been a big week for you all, I know. And next week is going to look a little bit different at Sandy Strait. We are really excited to be welcoming back our Prep and Year 1 students. So if you're in Prep and Year 1, I can tell you now that your teachers have been working really hard over the last few days to prepare the classrooms ready for your return on Monday morning. Now when you do return to school, everything still looks exactly the same. You'll have the same classroom, the same teachers, all of those types of things, except we're going to have a slightly different procedure when you turn up at school and when you leave of an afternoon. Because we're going to have some extra students on school site, we need to make sure that we are social distancing, which basically means we need to make sure that everybody's staying nice and safe, and we keep a slight distance from each other, so if somebody was to become ill, we don't spread that illness throughout the school. So what's going to look different is when you arrive at school next week, we would like as many of you as possible to get mum or dad, if you get dropped off at school, to be dropped off at the gate and to walk in all by yourself to your classroom. Because we're trying to limit how many adults we have walking in and out of our school at any one time. If you're in prep, one mum or one dad or one parent or guardian is certainly able to walk you to your classroom each morning. But of an afternoon in prep, what we ask is that our parents who are picking you up wait outside of the gate, and your prep teachers are going to walk you right to the very front of the school. And when you're at the front of the school, mum and dad will be able to pick you up from there. If you're in grade 1, on the very first day next Monday, one mum or dad is certainly able to walk you to the classroom and then leave you there. But after the first day, we ask that you be big year 1 students, like all of our other boys and girls, and walk to your classroom each day by yourself in the morning. And of an afternoon, we ask that you walk by yourself from your classroom out to the front gate, where mum and dads are asked to possibly wait in the car, so you can go and meet them at the car. If they do need to wait out the front of the school for you of an afternoon, we certainly ask that our parents please socially distance. For all the other boys and girls, starting next week, you have a special gate to exit our school from. If we sent everybody out of the same gate of an afternoon, we would have far too many adults and students all in the same spot. So your teachers for students who are at school will be talking to you about which gate it is that you exit from of an afternoon. If you're in one of our older grades and you need to pick up a brother or a sister in the younger grades, you go out your year level gate and you walk down to the gate where they're allowed to exit, and you meet them there if you're to walk home with them or to care for them until a parent or guardian turns up. So that's about the only thing that'll really look different when you return to school. It's just for our preps and ones returning to school next week. All of our grade 2 to 6 students, the majority of you are learning from home. And don't forget to touch base with your teachers every single day. And we look forward to our grade 2 and 6 students returning maybe in a couple of weeks' time. We're hoping to be able to share some more information with you shortly. But next week we look forward to the preps and ones. Other than that, boys and girls, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we look forward to seeing you all ready to strive for success next Monday morning. Thank you. I'll hand you back over to our leaders.
Thank you, Mr. Hillhouse. Please welcome the incredible Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Callum, and a special welcome to CJ here on our assembly for the first time. Welcome, CJ, and welcome to all of you. Well, special welcome to the people who are working at home. If you are watching at home, we'd love to make sure you share this video with as many people as you possibly can. We'd love to increase the views of people watching it. We don't want it to go viral though, not at this time anyway. Girls and boys, a couple of key messages from me. Mr. Hillhouse has already mentioned about the special routines that we have to establish going in and out of school. A couple of other rules that we need. Who would have thought that playing with balls or pop-up tiggy would be dangerous at school? Well, unfortunately right now it is, and we're not allowed to play with balls, nor are we allowed to play pop-up tiggy. So keep those laps running, because that's basically the sorts of things that we can do at the moment. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it won't be long before things change. Now, while I'm talking to you about doing laps, I just want to give you an in-house lap challenge update. Now, last week we said it was going off like a frog in a sock. You can see there that we're now starting to get fairly exhausted. We've had a real lag of people participating, the novelty factors run off, so we're increasing points. If you're an adult and staff member, you get out and run and be a great role model for us all, then we'll get bonus points for you. And while I'm here, a special formal apology to Mr. Cattell. I might have ripped him off a few laps last week when I was talking about how many laps he did. But anyway, girls and boys, a few other messages. Strive for 5 badge. We talked about having an opportunity to design some badges. Thanks, Mr. Hanson. Here are some other badges that people are thinking that we could use for our Strive for 5 badge. And a special call out to Mrs. Leary, who designed many badges and has come up with some great ideas. If you think you've got an idea of how we could reward people who are doing outstanding behaviour, we'd love to see your Strive for 5 badge design. Last week we would have recalled that we talked about and put out a challenge for that blinding lights challenge. Did you all see those ladies on Facebook the other day dancing? Yeah, they put us gentlemen to shame. But girls and boys, we had a whole week and a whole lot of entries, and Mr. Hanson just showed the number of entries. Karawinga got 45 points for the in-house spirit, Kundari 25, and Talara 30. So thank you for embracing. We had some really creative ideas and creative ways of doing the Blinding Lights Challenge. So thank you for participating in that. Another thing that we've asked people working at home and some people at school was, as we know, it's on this Sunday, Mother's Day. A special Mother's Day is coming up, really, because a lot of your mothers working at home have not only been mothers, but they've also been your mentor, they've been your teacher, and in some cases, I'm sure they've been your principal and probably sent you to your detention in your room. But we asked everyone to give us one word that symboled what they thought of their mothers, and this is what we've come up with. We've posted on Dojo and we've posted on Facebook, so all these lovely adjectives to describe the mums at Sandy Strait, in the Sandy Strait community. So a special shout out to our mums, and hope they have a good day on Sunday. Just two more messages from me. You might see some staff members walking around in blue. Well, it's a special day in memory of Dolly. Let's do it for Dolly. Some of you might recall that Dolly was a student who passed away a few years ago. Unfortunately, she was a victim of a fair bit of bullying, and it's a one way to remember Dolly's journey. So if you're wondering why people are wearing blue, that was part of the reason. And lastly, of course, in-house spirit update. So we've combined where do all the points come for this week? Of course, the Blinding Lights Challenge, and we even had a few caught being kind here at school. So a bit of a drum roll. Can I hear it? Lovely, thank you, kids. And here is the in-house sports update. And as you can see, not a great deal of movement. Talara is still leading. So they're the messages for me, and we see all our ones and preps back next week, and we'll see you then.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Please welcome the amazing Mr. Hanson.
Yay! Right, thank you, Callum. Thank you, student leaders, and welcome everyone. Welcome to our very different assembly again this week, and welcome to teachers joining us from home, and to those people joining us on a delayed version later. So I'd like to just say, welcome back to the end of this week. And I guess a few messages from me. So first of all, thanks very much to the parents who watch this later, because your engagement on Dojo and getting back to our surveys is really giving us an indication of how things are travelling at home, helping us with our journey. So I appreciate that very much, and we appreciate that as a school very much. A public shout out to our teachers and our staff who are at home or at school doing everything they can to make the journey as straightforward and as simple and as easy as it can be for the students who are here and those at home. As a school, we're really excited to have our Preps and Year 1 students joining us from next Monday, and the teachers have worked very hard to enable that to occur, so thank you teachers and staff for that one. And for the 2s and 6s, we look forward to welcoming them back at some point in the near future. As Mr. Hillhouse said, keep an eye out for some information regarding that. Okay, so another message from me is the attendance update. This has just been the last week, and it's basically just the people who are either present at school or those students who have been able to learn from home. And so here's the percentages, thanks Mr. Jackson, on that one for the last week. Thanks, mate. And so that's where we're at the moment, a slight decrease, but as we said, we're really looking forward to having some more students join us starting next week and welcoming them back. We hope everyone has a terrific end to the week. Happy Mother's Day to those mums on Sunday, and thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. I'll pass back to our student leader, Callum. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hanson.
We won't be having certificates today, but it's important to recognise the key of success of getting along. Getting along doesn't necessarily mean being friends with everyone. It means understanding others and trying our best to see the best in them. How have you been getting along today, lately?
Enjoy your weekend. Remember to make every day count and strive for success. Please listen to your teachers.